Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Gonna be making a jalapeno and cheese meatloaf with some tri-tip and pork butt. All right, let's do this. What's going on, guys? I know it's been a long time, but we'll be having a video to kind of recap what's been transpiring since our last video soon. But gonna be doing a video I saw from Chuds BBQ on YouTube with Bradley Robinson there. A lot of good content that he puts out, so definitely go check him out. But this is going to be a jalapeno and cheese, because I'm gonna be using mozzarella and cheddar, and I'll be using some high temp cheese, and you'll see that here later on. But in the video he used brisket and pork butt, and I'm just substituting the brisket for some tri-tip because I couldn't find myself a small enough piece for this. You're only gonna need roughly 3 to 4 pounds of meat total. I think I got a little over 4 pounds, but that's all right, we'll just make more. But we'll go ahead and just chop this up as you saw me do earlier, and go ahead and ground this up here. Get it all nice and fresh. Don't get that pre-made or pre-grounded up beef and this and that. Do it yourself if you got the capability at home. And now we're gonna go ahead and start getting those jalapenos ready. Let me cut the ends off the stems, and then I'll be putting that through the grinder as well. Get that all nice and chopped up so we can blend it nicely into this meatloaf. You'll see that other than some ingredients like the vegetables I'm gonna put in, pretty much this is the technique and way to make sausage at home. So but of course, you know, you'll be using the casings and not just putting it in a loaf pan and putting it like that in a smoker, but you get the gist of it ingredient wise. So I'm gonna go ahead here, the vegetables I was talking about, but you know, we're doing a meatloaf, not sausage, so that's why we got the vegetables going in. So just gonna be chopping up the white onion, and you know, my wife kind of told me tricks. You know, I knew kind of water helped. I don't know if that was just rinsing it underneath the water, but apparently keep yourself a wet paper towel right next to when you're chopping, and you could even run the water in the sink next to you, because apparently those vapors are going to go and be attracted to the first thing that has you know, liquid moisture. So that's why your eyes tend to start crying when you're chopping onions, because those vapors coming off that onion, those deadly lethal vapors coming off that onion, are going to start attacking those eyeballs, and the next thing you know, you can't see what you're doing, and before you know it, you might have blood all over that cutting board because you didn't realize you were chopping your fingers. No, but in all seriousness, chop them vegetables up, and you know, I haven't really, you know, not too good on the knife skills, as you can see. I'm not going in there like Gordon Ramsay and dicing these things up in 30 seconds, what have you, but you do whatever you got to do to chop them up. Just watch your fingers. Again, onions, celery, carrots, there's no fingers in this recipe. All right, so we're gonna use a couple stalks of celery. Go ahead and dice those up nice and thin. And we're gonna get this going soon onto the pan, just so we can sweat them down. We're not fully cooking these down, but we want to get them going because we don't want any hard vegetables as you're taking that bite in that meatloaf later on. All right, celery done, onions done. Now we'll go ahead, chop up these carrots. Again, I think I used 2 carrots only, but I sliced them down the middle. I don't know, probably about 4 times for each one, just so that way we get those pieces just the right size. You don't want no giant chunks of vegetables in this, but again, you just want some small, good size, so that way you got that consistency going through with a nice bite. Not too small, definitely not too big. Again, I think, you know, someone with some good knife skills and cutting probably gonna chop about 4 times as much as I've done already in the same amount of time. But hey, it's a win. I didn't lose a finger, no band-aids needed, so that's good in my book. Just get these diced up. Again, do what you gotta do. You might have some fancy little chopper in your kitchen equipment collection, but I'm just using a knife. All right, now we got butter going in the pan. And we're gonna go ahead and just throw all these vegetables that I cut up into that pan. And again, we're just cooking it down a little bit, but we're not fully cooking all this stuff, just getting it going, so that way when it's in the smoker, it's gonna finish off, cook, and be the perfect consistency for this meatloaf. And got it all in there. All right, there we go. There we go. Come on, there we go. Start stirring it up. And got about medium heat again. I'm not trying to cook this super fast. I wanted a kind of a low, slow method, so that way we don't get these onions real dark or anything. Again, just, I guess the term is sweating it right here, sweating these veggies, getting them starting the cooking process. Don't forget, you know, you gotta tap that spoon, just like tapping tongs before you go in and grab them hot dogs or whatever you're doing on the griddle. You gotta tap the spoon, makes it all worth it. There you go. We got a good pinch or 2 or 3. It was a good size amount of salt put in, but again, wasn't too much. You're not going to need any blood pressure medication after this, but you want to make sure that you are going to have good flavor throughout these veggies as you're sweating them. All right, after we're going to get these veggies going, we're going to go ahead and get the beef stock and the eggs going and all the little dry ingredients that we're going to be mixing in together, and then at the end putting it all together for the meatloaf. So you'll see that here shortly, and it should be any second now. All right, and all right, I'm just gonna stop this and let's move forward. All right, so first off, about 8 ounces of beef stock, and then we're gonna go ahead, follow that up with 3 eggs. Once we got those 3 eggs in, go ahead and whisk this all together, blend it up nice and good, and then get it prepared for the rest of the dry ingredients that we'll be putting in. So for the dry ingredients, we're gonna have paprika, salt, garlic powder, then we're gonna put breadcrumbs and some dry, or milk powder, I guess if it's powder, it's gonna be dry. Mix it all together, and you know, I did add more of the milk powder and breadcrumbs just because you wanna get that consistency to be kind of pasty, and it was kind of too liquidy after I put in the amount that I thought I should put in, but I went ahead and freestyled a little bit and got it to where I needed it to be. And then once you get it all mixed up, we're gonna go ahead and throw all those vegetables in. All right, and here I go, dropping it onto the meat and the jalapenos. Nice pasty, good consistency here. And then go ahead and start with the Walton's high temp mozzarella. I think altogether I put almost a half a pound of both types of cheese in. But go ahead, it's a nice crumble here, as you can see. And here's the high temp cheddar. Again, I did add a little bit more after I put this initial amount of cheese on, just because I figured it could use a little bit more cheese. And then mix it all together. All right, I'm gonna put it in this loaf pan. Got the saran wrap to make it easier to get it out. But being that I had 4 pounds or 4+ pounds, and then you add all the other ingredients in, I did have a lot extra after I filled up that loaf pan. So I'm going and put in these little small dishes, again using saran wrap, so that way it's easy to just pop out of that mold. And then you can finish pushing it all in with some parchment paper. It won't stick to nothing. Get it all packed in there nicely, and then I'm gonna set it in the freezer for maybe an hour or so to set, so that way it's got a nice shape and it won't fall apart when I get it into the smoker. And we'll throw a little bit of some coarse pepper onto it on the outside, so that way we can get that bark going, since we are smoking it, and smoked meat always looks better and always tastes better when you got a good bark on the outside. And like we told you before, pepper is your friend in helping you get that bark going on whatever it is that you're smoking that day. And there they are, looking beautiful. Got the foil over the grate because you don't want it falling through. 310 on the front, 310 on the back. Gonna be going kind of high on this one. A little bit more of a hot and fast. Nice clean smoke going there. Got hickory, cherry, pecan. That's what you want your smoke to look like. You don't want it super dirty or dirty at all, really. Nice coal bed, and there's some cherry, big pecan going lengthwise right there, so that way you get some good smoke off of it. Well, here it is, only a little over 3 hours, so definitely hot and fast. I think temps were probably at least high 200s, close to 300. And you know, I probed it on the big one. I should have probed it on the smaller ones, but it's all good. I mean, texture wise, good texture. You know, next one I'll go low and slow, kind of build the bark up better, maybe, you know, hit it up with even more smoke. But you know, not bad, decent little smoke ring. And overall, you know, real, you know, juicy inside. And I tried a piece earlier, cut off the little end piece, had little burnt end meatloaf pieces, and man, it tasted really good. It's kind of like I don't know, it's been a while since I had meatloaf, but it definitely tasted more a little bit like a sausage than meatloaf, but it tasted great. These jalapenos weren't that spicy, so that was a little bit of a letdown. But overall, you know, definitely gonna try it again, lower, slower, but give it a shot, and you can't go wrong with this one. All right, till next video, take care.